Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the BZ-176. It's a Tier 8 Chinese Premium Heavy. It's located on the defending team of Siegfried Line Assault, and it's under the command of Bublus of OLIMP. And he's in platoon with Daniel 2184 in a Scorpion G. Game on! Well, this has got to be the most OP heavy tank in the game at the moment. I've said so before, and I'll say it again. In fact, other people have said we should keep saying it, because after all, this tank is as OP as the Defender used to be in World of Tanks in the past. It's got a whopping great gun. It's a 160mm or 16cm main gun, capable of 650 alpha. And if that on its own wasn't enough, then just look at the other stats. 208mm of penetration, 860 meters per second, and with the APCR rounds, or rather the premium rounds, it's 800 alpha, 225mm of pen. So it really is exceedingly powerful. Now, obviously, people have been saying as well, the accuracy as well as the reload time, even though it's quite as long as normal, the standard reload, 23.97 seconds, this thing's got a reload of 19.15. And if that wasn't enough, then of course there's one other thing. Oh, didn't get it with the first shot. It's got rockets. Yeah, it means that if it needs to move and move quick, it can very quickly. And it's 60 tons in weight, so if this thing does have controlled impact and you use it against the vehicle that's up in front of you, you can actually slam down on them. I mean, the top speed's supposed to be 30 kilometers an hour, but imagine one of these coming towards you, 60 tons of metal being thrust along by rockets and then hitting you. Yes, could be quite dangerous. And you've got 4 rocket boosts in there as well, so it's not as if it's just one, it's several. Okay, he's looking around for targets at the moment. Of course, the other thing about it is the armor. The hull armor's 240mm on front. On the turret, it's 250mm. 152mm on the side of both turret and the hull. And on the rear, it's only 60mm. So it's incredibly strong. This tank was actually devised by the Chinese to be one of the frontier tanks to oppose the Soviet Union, as it was then. He didn't even pen. Yes, because they were what was called the frontier covering forces. And that was to prevent the Soviets from getting into Chinese territory. Of course, the Chinese did invade Japanese territory back in the Second World War, and many said that was the reason why Japan actually surrendered. Not the dropping of the bomb, although that did help. It was actually more to do with the fact that the Japanese knew that if the Soviet Union did invade, then there just wouldn't be enough Japanese to cover them, and therefore every Japanese person would die, and there wouldn't be a Japanese nation left, and of course the Russians would conquer their territory. They'd already conquered several of their islands, and they've never handed them back, even though they still have them to this day. I'm talking about the Kuril Islands. Of course, those have never been handed back. Okay, every time he pokes his head out, he gets fired at. He's going to fire back, and this time round it does work, and he gets 800 hit points from that shot alone. Now, lots of people saying that this is so dominant, this tank. It really is so dominant because it's so difficult to damage and to kill that consequently that it really ought to be buffed, or not buffed, nerfed, to actually make it slightly worse. Otherwise, it's just too good. Okay, he's reloaded, and who's going to hit him this time? Well, he gets hit with the Govka, but it doesn't do much. He takes it in the tracks for 420, and he then pumps 159 into the Govka. And now you see redeploying using those jet rockets, which are all rockets they are, And he does get a few seconds worth of power to get across the gap. And he moved very quickly. He probably won't need them for a while, but he's actually just trying to prevent the enemy moving inland or into the city. Found one. Hello. Yep, goes to the upper plate, gets 378, but he uses the armor, pulls back to reload. Meanwhile, his teammate in the Cheetah can actually do some damage.
Withdraw from that position.
Yeah, he's trying to tell the Cheetah to pull back, but I think that's because he wants the damage for himself. And he's going to come up behind these guys and give them a nasty surprise. Hello there, it's us! And he takes one through the back of the turret. It's a pity that didn't ammo rack him, because it should have. It was right where they keep the ammo. In fact, I seem to recall the Germans had a lot of trouble because they kept putting the ammo where it was obvious for other tankers to fire at. And so they were getting lots of ammo racks and explosive demolitions. Ooh. Well, block the shot from the E75. Now, is he going to fire or is he waiting? No, he goes for the engine bay, gets it. 602. Oh, he's going to have to turn the tank whilst he's burning, but he does it. And now he's got another one to deal with, the IS. Now, this guy's not going to survive very long, even though we're still in reload. One shot. Ooh, 749. Now he's got to sit here and wait for that reload to go through. Meanwhile, the IS is going to keep trying to punch holes in us and fail. You can see he was aiming there for the driver's port because he knows that's a weak spot. He's going to go through anywhere. And there you go. The IS is down. That's his third kill. And he wants more. He's hungry. Who's next? Looks like it's going to be that 53 TP, but I suspect the 87 just around the corner is going to regret meeting us. Oh, now he does mobilize us, but we're going to try and get round behind him and then hit him. Yes, he does. He gets the rear of the vehicle and he avoids any further damage from the others. Oh, no, I spoke too soon. Took a round in the side there. And in fact, he has been damaged in the engine now. And of course, his repair kit is on cooldown. So there's not much he can do for the meanwhile. He can't move away unless he uses the rockets to actually get him to move away. Ah, but he takes out the T-26E4 Super Pershing anyway. And that's his 5th kill of the game. So, does he use the rockets? Yes, he does. Of course he does. He wants to get as close to the enemy as he can as quickly as possible because he wants another kill. There's no enemy around here, so he can't use that one. That's the 2-minute warning for the enemy. 10-minute game. He's looking for another target. He knows there's somewhere around here. In fact, there is an enemy just around the corner. But he doesn't want to swivel on the spot, or does he? Go forward, turn around, and come back. Now, there might be an enemy out here somewhere. A Super Hellcat. An SU. There's the FV. He can certainly kill the FV with one shot. In fact, go for it. That's the Top Gun. There's only 3 enemy left now. They've got an Object 432, which I think is the rear-mounted turret, a Super Hellcat and an LTG. There's the Object 430U, or 432, I should say. It is the rear-mounted one. There you go. Fires it in, but doesn't get a hit. We're into the last minute now. Now he's backing up to turn around. I don't think that guy can do anything much about it. The Super Hellcat's gone. The LTG's gone. This is the last enemy, so he might as well poke a few rounds at the guy, so long as he doesn't get hit, because after all, it could be the end of him. Well, he fires one round in, doesn't get hit. Now he's got a long reload. He's only got 23 hit points left. So he doesn't want to die before the end of the game, but he does want that kill if he can get it. The Barask is going out there, so we might as well have a go. Okay, he's waiting for us. Hello. Well, it hit the tracks, but it didn't go through. And that's it. That's the end of the game. It's all over now. Well, I like the way that bublus tried to get the beauty shot, which is, you know, try and position the camera right at the end of the game so you see the tank that's being featured from the front. It's always nice to actually see that, but he did it himself. I didn't actually have to move the controls because he did it for me. He got an ace tanker in that game. Very well done. He also got a shell proof for blocking more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle, duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle, and he also got a hand of God for surviving the battle, having received at least damage from at least 4 different tanks or more. On top of that, he got a Spartan medal, received a ricochet non-penetrating shot from the Object 432 when he had less than 10% of his hit points left, a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills, and on top of all that, he got a steel wall for blocking the most damage in that game overall. His win rate was 8,775, which was super Unicum standard and quite a bit more. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see the damage was 4,592. He was the only player to get over 4,000 in damage. The next highest scorer was the CC1 Mark II on the enemy team, managed 3,670. And the third highest was the Tortoise on his own team, who managed 2,894. When it came to kills, he got the highest number of those with 6. 3 kills went to the Tortoise and the T30, so they got exactly half the number of kills he did. And 2 kills went to the Jagdtiger and also to the CC1 Mark II on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, he absolutely nailed it. 1,623. The next highest was the Jagdtiger with 912, and then the Tortoise with 856. So yes, he was the only one to get over 1,000 base, and boy did he get a high one. He fired 16 rounds in that game. Got 13 direct hits on the enemy, 9 penetrations, and 2 splash as well. Damage of 4,592, of which 959 were at more than 300 meters. When it came to hits received, he took 21 hits, but only 6 of them actually penetrated. And most of the ones that penetrated hit the side of his tank when he was side onto the enemy. When he actually made that quick attack on the 87, I'm afraid his sides were vulnerable at that point, as well as his rear for that matter. And if you're going to hit a BZ-176, it's ideal to hit it in the sides and the rear, and he gave them the opportunity. He was blocking most of the shot was coming towards the start of the game, because of course they were hitting the front of the vehicle, they just couldn't get through. 15 non-penetrations in that game. He blocked damage of 5,100, and of course it was the overall number of shots and the fact that he blocked that much damage that got him the steel wall. 4 enemy vehicles were spotted, 7 enemy vehicles damaged, 6 killed, 496 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, he actually made a profit of 12,393 credits from the game, and the ammunition costs were considerable, but then he was definitely trying to go for it. 25 bonds as well, and he also took away 5,113 experience points on top of that. But yes, is this an OP tank? Yeah, very much so, I'm afraid. Yes, and until they do something about it, this is the tank that most players are going to have to try and bring down. Of course, if you're an Arty and you see a BZ-176, you'll just delight in landing those shells right on top of him, because he's very vulnerable to Arty, even though he does have, turret armor. Most of the shells are going to be coming in right on top of him, and his top armor is not that thick. What else can I say? Well, it's just Wargaming going to have to do something about it eventually. But for the meantime, if you are enjoying it, enjoy it. Because it won't be long before Wargaming takes the T-Bird away. Yes. So you're going to have fun all the time you can. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.